WCBL. We are here for playoff picture, and we are just here to discuss. We are here to discuss
Okay, so we
some
are
potential
Native
playoff.
Americans.
Yes, we're here to discuss a few things today, mates. No, we're here to discuss who has potential for playoffs, who is mathematically eliminated, or realistically is already in playoffs. And I'm not alone. I am joined by Pure Awesome Gaming, or PAG,
Hi.
Like,
and JT the Skank.
hey, now. That was a one-time deal.
Hi, JT.
That's what
You can't do that to me. Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Well, anyway, all right. So hopping into things, we'll hop over to Indigo first, since I'm realistically the only Indigo rep here. So for Indigo, first place is me. Somehow, I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Well, I mean, look at your team and then look back to Indigo. Now look back at your team and there's a Komodo.
That's low. That's too low tiered. Anyway, so I face CB and Liam as my last two matchups, and I'm not sure if I'm pretty much locked at this point. I'm just playing for seed differential. If I beat CB, I'm guaranteed first seed. If no matter what, I'm pretty sure I'm locked no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get down to everything else, and everything is so freaking close.
Still
It
in
is
contention
ridiculous.
for.
Everyone's still potentially in. The only people I think that are mathematically eliminated are potentially Liam and TB. TB, I'm not too sure
Mm-hmm.
if he's out yet. I think if TB loses to Justin, he's 100% out. And if Liam loses to JS, he is also 100% out.
I mean,
So,
it's JS. Let's be seriously here,
yeah,
guys. It's JS.
yeah.
And then Teeny.
So I think TB and Liam are mathematically the only two out. The
Mhm.
other, everyone else still has a realistic shot. So let's start with Matt. Matt is the only person that's beat me this season.
The only one to dethrone.
Yeah, the only one to dethrone me. Matt is 4-3 plus 7. His last two matchups are Justin and Nada. Nada and Matt always have good always have good battles.
I mean, they're both really good players.
Yes, they really are.
They'll usually end up having a close game.
It's going to be
pulls out something to catch them off guard and demolish.
Exactly. So it's going to be a close, and then Justin and Matt, I think, is going to be realistically for seeding. It's for like seed. So let's say, for example, Justin ends up beating TB and beats Matt, then he's guaranteed second seed no matter what.
Yeah.
And if Matt I think it would just come down to the differential. Which in that card, I think Matt or Justin would have to 6-0 TB, and I think he'd have to beat Matt, I want to say maybe 1-0 in order to have second seed. If Matt beats Nada, of course, then of course I think it would come, and then Justin beats TB. I think it would just come down to differential at that point to decide who has second seed. CB, I guess we could talk about CB a little bit. CB faces me and Slimy. Well, there's no chance CB's got to beat me.
No, not at this point. I can.
Lies. I'm totally going to beat you.
Oh yeah, I forgot CB.
I think CB will end up.
Hi, CB.
Beat down real quick.
Everyone, we have people on the call. It's just muted, so it's those three. But
up until we start talking about Chew, then he's gonna come in here and defend himself.
So CB faces me and Slimy. Slimy is going to be the very big wild card, I feel, in this one.
What's Slimy's team again?
He has the Zera Vocal.
No, like the team name.
Oh, Brooklyn Bayonets. Look at that.
Okay. That tells you something. I don't pay attention to Indigo unless it's Spectrum.
Mathematically, I'm pretty sure I'm still in this.
Yeah, you still are.
Yeah.
So you have a really good shot of still making it. You gotta beat. I think you have to beat me and you have to beat.
I just need to win one of my matches with the difference between the win and the loss being 0, because JS and Slimy, the best they can do is win both games and get +6 each, which would make them 12. Now put them at +3, which is under my +4.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just need to break even on my last 2 matches.
Regardless, it's going to be very hard for you to get knocked out. So
I'm pretty
you can't
sure
really
CB is
say
I want to say he's locked, but he has a really good shot at being locked.
it's like
So-
a 90% chance.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is 6-0 your opponents, guys. Knock this boy out.
Looking at
let's
you,
talk-
Slimy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Justin. So Justin faces TB and Matt. So TB, I'm pretty sure is going to be mathematically by the time, I don't know. See, Justin, I know Justin's team for TB, and obviously, I had to put bias towards Justin, because of the fact that, like I said, I do know his team. I don't know TB's prep at all. I don't know anything about it, but I had to, play a little bit of bias with Justin because I know his team.
Didn't
So-
you 6-0 him a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
It might be hard for him to
No, I did.
punch that
I
spot.
did.
Okay.
So, and then Justin versus Matt, that's going to be an interesting matchup because the one thing I did notice is Justin loses to specific things, which I'm not going to pinpoint because potentially I'm not going to reveal too much because obviously Coma 06'd him, which probably gave it away. Fighting types really mess with Justin quite a bit. Fighting types with coverage, I guess I should say, really mess with Justin quite a bit. So Coco Lucha could be quite the problem for Justin's team.
Yeah.
So that
But
could.
it's Coco Lucha. It's a problem for a
Coco.
lot of teams.
It is. So that's going to be an interesting matchup to keep an eye on. I think that's going to be the really, really important matchup is Justin and Matt for seeding wise. I'm pretty sure both. Again, me pulling bias towards Justin. I'm pretty sure these top 4 are locked. I'm pretty certain outside of CB. CB could still potentially get knocked out if he loses to Slimy.
At the same time, that could be go for everybody below him.
Yes.
Below CB. They're all. It's a close enough race at this point that it's just.
It really is. Yeah, it played down to differential at that point. So I think Justin and Matt is going to be a very, very important matchup to keep a very close eye on when it does.
Very deciding game.
Yeah. So I guess we can move on to Nada. Nada faces Matt and JS. So Nada has always beaten JS when they play.
Have they?
Yes.
Oh God, sorry JS. Catches 4-0.
I think JS actually might have beaten Nada once, but not. I wasn't in that league. I think every single time they've played each other in WCBL, I think Nada has come out on top, if I remember correctly, from season 1 to now.
That was a pretty good record then, if I do say so myself.
And obviously, I've already talked about Matt and Nada being a very fun matchup, and that's going to be a very eye-opening one too. Obviously,
it will be
because if I think it's Nada and Matt is going to be very intense. Because that's going to decide quite a bit as well for playoff seed-wise. It still can be anyone's game, but realistically, if Matt loses to Justin and Nada, then Slimy does beat Teeny and CB, then Slimy slides right into playoff.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting to figure out. So I think Nada is, I don't want to say 100% locked, but I'm pretty comfortable in saying she's locked because of the record with JS.
You could go by what you know about everybody is. The top 6 are pretty much locked at this point. Like, unless there's an upset, and it's a very large upset, the top 6 are already considered locked.
Yes, and then Teeny. I just came off probably one of the bigger wins versus Teeny.
Yeah.
And Teeny's last 2 matchups are 2 coaches that are one is mathematically still in it, and then the other one has a very slim chance, of course, me being biased with Justin. So Teeny, I'm pretty comfortable saying he's locked. He's gonna want to come for revenge for me because I was the first one to beat him in WCBL.
Yeah.
He joined late in season 1 and then won the whole entire turn and won the whole entire league.
Okay.
So he's gonna want to come for revenge for me for being the first one to beat him.
That's believable.
So we'll see what happens with that. Then we move on to Slimy. Slimy, obviously, we've talked about both his opponents. I think realistically, Slimy still has a good shot. It just depends on how me and CB's matchup goes, and B, it depends on realistically how bad if CB beats me or I beat CB. It depends on differential, I think.
Yeah.
For Slimy to make play. Realistically, it just depends on CB and Slimy. I think that's gonna be the number 6 seed. Realistically, is gonna be Slimy and CB. So that's going to be very interesting to keep in mind.
I'm not sure if I'd say realistically because I feel like CB can pull out at least number 4, but
yeah,
it all comes down to how the rest of everybody plays.
Right, exactly. So,
and because the records are so close, a lot of it is going to be just thrown up to differential.
Yeah.
Right.
So even if CB loses versus you, if he can cut the differential like really small, that still puts him in a really good position.
Yeah, it really does. So I want to talk about a dark horse potential here on JS. I think JS realistically could be the dark horse of the league for playoffs. So JS faces Liam and Nada. Obviously, I brought up Nada how Nada hasn't beaten JS in WCBL, but I haven't beaten JS ever in league, and I beat him this season for the first time. So upsets can happen, and obviously he faces Liam, who I believe I want to say is mathematically eliminated. Plus, due to some things we'll get to with Liam, I think JS could be the dark horse of playoffs. He could still realistically make it.
I mean,
by the skin of his teeth.
Look at the teams that they both have. I think JS has a better matchup, so
yeah,
I would say
it comes down to
like a 2 or 3-0.
Yeah, I think it comes down to JS.
Or I guess
like I said, I think JS could realistically steal, like very just sneakily slide into a spot. If CB, like I said, I think it comes down to if CB can beat me and then he beats Slimy, and then JS obviously beats Nada and Liam, and then he can secure a spot very comfortably.
Yeah.
And I think Nada also, it would just, I don't know, it's going to be very interesting because differential wise, Slimy and JS are basically the same exact thing, 3-4 and -9. I think it depends on these two. It depends on if Teeny beats Slimy, and then Teeny would move up at that point, and then I think JS would also move up. Wow. So JS, so it could be interesting to see. So TB, I think I've talked about. So TB has 2 hard matchups. So TB, again, me being biased and whatnot, I think is mathematically eliminated.
That's
in
fair.
my opinion.
That's fair. That's fair to assume. At this
and
point.
Then we're gonna get to the last coach, which is I'm just gonna outright say it. I mean, I'm not spoiling anything for because a few matches have already happened in week whatever week this is. I can't remember.
Week 8.
Week 8. I'm trying not to spoil any of the matchups because a few of them have happened, but Liam, I'm pretty sure is out of the league 100% at this point. I do not think he's coming back. And because CB took the forfeit win, and he also forfeited the previous week. And as I told everyone in the beginning, if you forfeit two games, you're gone. Goodbye.
That's fair. Yeah.
And there's no point in replacing him at that point because it's the end of the season and he's pretty much mathematically eliminated anyway.
You might as well just let it ride out the rest of the season. Give it a couple kills.
Exactly. So Liam is officially out of the league, and that is that.
Yeah.
And that
one thing that does though is that he plays JS next, so giving JS the forfeit win, it's only +3, whereas JS has that -9 differential, which goes against him a lot. So
I can take over the team.
JS not being able to go beyond the 3-0. You know, JS could possibly get a 4-0, 5-0, or 6-0, but the fact that JS can't do that, it has to be a 3-0. I think can come back to hurt him.
It really
depends on how much if Teeny can beat Slimy and how much the differential is at that point.
I mean, all he has to really do is beat him once, and then by record, I'm pretty sure Teeny would pull out.
So I think obviously with that being said, I'm pretty sure, like, if he doesn't come back, obviously he's already gone. So I'm pretty sure I'll end off. I already know what my thing is because I played CP, so whatever. Anyway, I'll let you guys
knock Liam right out of here.
Yeah, he's gone.
Wait, so we're saying that basically Liam's not coming back for the season 4?
He's already out because I already remember what I said in the beginning of the season. 2 forfeit wins, you're gone.
Well, no, I assume he's not coming back for season 4.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Most likely.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yep. Anyway, so I'll let you guys. Anyway, CB, do you want to drop our sponsor real quick?
Today we are sponsored by Haterade.
Wait, don't say that because I don't think we really are. And
no, we're not. We actually got dropped because of Spectrum.
Please sponsor us. We're really trying.
Is Haterade actually a thing?
I'm pretty sure Haterade's a thing.
One last thing I do want to say about Indigo is that if the top 6, if there's any chance of those 6 being disrupted, I think it will come down to that last week match versus JS and Nada. If any of the top 6 are going to be unseated, it's going to be during that match.
I don't think Haterade is an actual thing.
No, I don't either. So I think
looked it up.
I think the big matchups are going to be Nada JS, Justin Matt, and Nada Matt. I think those are the last 3 big matchups we need to keep an eye out.
Yeah.
At that point.
So theoretically, in that top 6, we're kind of agreeing if the most likely team to not make it is Nada, surprisingly, because Nada started so well.
Yeah. And then Nada fell off after I beat her. So, which is interesting. So anyway, I'll let you guys move on to Evergrande. I've been kind of paying attention, but not like too much to Evergrande. You guys are obviously in the division, so it's your division. So
I mean that's on my part because I came unprepared. So I want to be leading the charge here, and I'll just pull out random bullshit when I want to.
The floor is yours, gentlemen.
All right, so at number 10 we have Corey down there. When Corey filled in, I actually thought he had a very good chance of possibly.
He still does have a shot.
He does, but obviously his last 2 games might have been losses, or his last game might have been a loss.
His last game was lost because of a guy hacking the shit out of him.
Good. Bring me this lock, A guy. Let's go.
Well, so I think Corey faces APT and JT.
Yeah, and just because I would normally have a lot of faith in Corey, but it's that last week matchup versus JT that just kind of because I think I'm pretty sure Corey has to win his last 2 at the very least to give him a shot, and the fact that he plays JT. Sorry, Corey.
Which is trash.
You're the least likely to make it at this point.
I mean, there's also a zone there, and the zone just kind of inches by. And if Corey does happen to pull out 2 Ws, I feel like Corey can.
See, I don't know too much about ATP because I can't really say much.
That's the thing is that I don't know a lot about APT either since he just came in. But
I've never seen him ever anyway. So.
Honestly, mathematically, I don't see Corey making it to playoffs. Because even if he beats Apt, right, he still has to beat Rogue, and with the whole thing, Zone versus A guy. Even if Zone loses, A guy is 4-4, and
I think
Come on, A-Guy.
I think he
It's
does
just-
kind of
Hold
have a
this.
choice. He has a chance.
I think Corey's
playoffs,
easiest
A-Guy, you
way.
can do it.
I think Corey's easiest way to get through is if I lose my last 2 games.
I think the way Corey can still make it is he has to 4-0 or higher APT, and he has to beat JT
If
by a little bit.
yeah,
I
so
think probably by 3-0.
yeah, Corey has
Sure.
to win both of his games, and I think 3 out of the 4 of the 3 and 4 teams have to lose. Like either.
I
win
mean,
or
are
two
you
of their
also
games.
assuming that the other lower ranks, the potential, win their games or lose their games? That's the other thing.
I'm just
I
going
just-
based on what I'm looking at.
Still anyone's game.
It still
Yeah.
is, yeah.
I mean, there's a way. I just don't. See
Yeah.
it.
When there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
So,
It'll become clear after this coming week.
yeah, week 8.
Making
So, well, you guys move on to, I guess, APT. I don't know much about him.
I don't know
Yeah,
anything
he's
about
only
him.
he's only played one match, so we can't really say a lot if he's really favored in these last 2 matchups. But
Yeah.
I think at least versus Corey, because we agree that Corey still does have a chance. Corey's going to go all out
Slim.
in this.
Yeah.
Slim chance, but Corey's still going to give him a nice fight. And then the last week versus Zone, like even though his differential is higher, like I give him about the same chance as Corey, which
Yeah.
isn't very high.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, it just depends on how much the Zone's willing to put into keeping playoffs.
Well,
Let's be real here. He's kind of been on and off this season.
he's an
so,
autopilot. He
yeah.
doesn't put much prep into like anything.
Yeah.
Depending
Yeah,
on, you just-
because
see, the thing about Zone is you gotta hype him up to get shit. Like,
So
I
shit
hyped him
talking-
up big
shit
time.
talking
You had
to
to
get
you
a
had to shit talk the literal shit out of him just to get him to do good. And even still, like, I don't know. So
that's what you got to do. Just shit talk
Yeah.
and call it good.
I want to talk about potential dark horse. I think the dark horse is gonna be A guy this season. Real
Oh.
talk.
oh, absolutely,
I have been
absolutely.
voting for this boy the entire season.
I
I'm
legit
waiting
think
for
A guy
him
is
to
going
just
to be the
pull
dark
out.
horse.
I
of this
want
He
him to
season.
has
pull
he has one of the best offensive cores in both divisions.
Yeah. Like behind the Coco Luchas from both of them.
Well,
Lando T plus Yancey's really hard to beat up.
I mean, Lando
And
T.
you have Victini, you have Superior, Araquanid with water bubble, like dealing
And
double
Webs.
damage with water hits. I mean, that's not something
With
to
Webs.
look over.
Yeah.
Th-
His team is really good.
So,
I
if,
wouldn't
like I
it
said,
And,
I
like-
think
but I like my team. So
ironically, number 8 seed for our wonderful layout here is going to be JS and A guy. Ironically enough, I called both of them the dark horse of this.
I mean they are though. They both have the
Realistic, yeah.
potential to eke in through the last 2 spots,
Yeah.
depending on how they both play.
hmm So, yeah, I mean, A guy faces Zone and Primer. Primer has been on this season. We'll get to that when we talk about Primer, but
Mhm.
Zone, I think realistically he has the matchup versus Zone. It
Yeah.
just depends on everything, like what kind of zone you're facing. If you're facing the zone that just doesn't give a rat's ass about anything, then I think A guy will pull out the win very, very freely. If you're facing the zone that
It was in the
I-
zone.
it's in the zone, then I think it's going to be it's going to be a very close matchup.
hmm
So we'll see what happens.
Like Zone's team has the potential that he can break
Yeah.
past the remaining couple weeks, but it's just kind of
exactly.
And
I think-
not to rip Zone or Primer or anything, but I do think out of all of the teams left, A guy probably has the easiest last 2 weeks.
We'll talk
Mhm.
about Primer. I'm going to talk about Primer in depth here. What I've been noticing, because I've been watching his YouTube videos, and B, I've been like watching the battles a little with him
a little
because
bit.
his team is disgusting, and I'm going to
It
acknowledge
really
that.
is.
He's just gotten a little unfortunate hacks.
Well, I mean, you kind of asked to be hacks when you're playing defensive. To be fair,
Yeah.
When you play defensive, you're literally saying, "Please crit me."
Status me with this.
It's literally it's yeah. So
paralyze me with a thunderbolt and then crit me.
Yes,
yeah, that's just kind of how it is.
That's how you play. That's basically defense.
Then we get hit with 10 stone edges.
Yeah, basically. So I want to talk about Primer a little bit. So Primer, he has been like very on and off this season. For me, at least, like it. I don't know. Like he's good. He has a team. He's been showing me. I thought Deoxys defense is garbage. I almost was tempted to drop it to fucking tier 2 because I think it's garbage. And now
I just think all the Deoxys forms that are allowed.
Now that he's shown me like
they're that in between state.
Deoxys defense has shown now. Primer has showed me Deoxys defense is really it can be a fucking crazy enough kill leader.
And I didn't show you that in season 2.
No.
Well, season 2. I don't remember that.
I wasn't here, so you didn't show me anything.
And I know. So, see, Primer has shown me a lot with DOD, but I don't know. Like his matchups are weird. Like I said, he faces a guy, and he faces Killua. Killua we'll get to later.
Yeah.
But I don't. We'll talk about that Killua matchup later, since we're talking about a guy and Primer. Realistically, it's battle of offense versus battle of defense at that point again.
I'm gonna give it to a guy.
What was the last offense and defense matchup in Evergrande? I can't remember. I remember there was one other matchup with it.
I mean, it was me versus him, but I kind of brought more balance offense.
Yeah, but yours not really defensive.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was Primer versus somebody. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Tort, maybe?
I think it was Tort. Yeah.
Tort has Coco Lucha with Kirin Black and Mega Scizor.
Yeah, I think it was Tort. So that's gonna be an interesting one. Like I said, a guy and Primers. I think it's gonna be like the big match to keep an eye out for Evergrande. That's gonna really decide a lot. That's gonna decide a lot, I feel.
Well, that'll also leave it up to how Zone places. So
yes, as well. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Let's move on to Zone. Zone faces APT and A Guy. I think we're all like, sadly enough, we're all in agreement that Zone is like, it just depends how bad Zone wants playoffs, and if he actually gives the rat's ass enough.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's all about the which Zone shows up.
Exactly. If it was a Zone versus Killua, then no chance.
No chance.
I mean,
because
I don't think Zone even cares about playoffs, because you remember season 1 he left just to get me into the spot. I don't think he cares at all.
Yeah. No.
Like I said, we'll see what happens. I think, like I said, Zone is going to be the big potential. I'm not gonna say dark horse. I'm thinking he's going to be like the big question mark for this, because Zone right now is
couple weeks.
Because if Zone doesn't want it, that frees up a spot for Primer or A Guy. But if Zone really wants it and he shows up, that's just one less spot.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
You know, he holds the keys. He holds the keys to his season.
He's the question mark. Primer is going to be battling, and A Guy is the dark horse. That's how I think this is going to go.
Pretty much. I can probably blew that one.
Let's talk about Chu. I'll let you guys discuss this.
You want to?
Okay, you're not number 10 with a good team with Goth Star Y. Get out of here.
XDs. All the XDs. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's see. Who the hell do you play, Chu?
Look out the slide!
He plays me.
No. Oh, sorry, Chu, you lose.
XDs?
He plays me, and then he plays Tort.
Yeah,
I've already told you the way to beat their Tort's team. How you want to use it is your way. But
okay, yes, cool, fun.
Okay. All right. No fighting. Enough. Jesus, Papa Spec coming through again. Christ.
Where's Mama CB? No, Chew's been on and off with a pretty good team. I mean, it's going from like Veil offense to Zardawai balance, I guess.
Yeah.
He's on and off, and I think that's the best way to put it for Chew. Sometimes just depends on how much he likes his team.
Mm-hmm.
So
I legitimately think that of the 4, 3, and 4 teams, I think just because of Zone having to play a guy that whole matchup, Chew probably has the best chance of those 4 to make playoffs. Not only
I don't think so.
I believe
I'm gonna put it
Chew
right out
has
here.
to
I
beat-
don't think he does.
I think Chew has to.
He has to win at least one. And then depending on the other matchups, he might have to win a second one.
Well, see, he has to play
Gotta
you,
win one.
and then he plays Tort.
Yeah,
I think
that's not happening.
I think Chew realistically has to win one matchup to
Which
lock.
is not happening.
Well, you
But
don't know
that also assumes that Primer is also going to win
Yes.
2 games.
Yes.
So let's say that AI does beat Zone, and then
Primer beats a guy.
Yeah.
Or he plays Killua first. Oh wait, no, never mind. I see what you're saying.
So regardless, it all depends on how these next week
Few goes,
yeah.
And it depends on Pag and Chew. I think
Pag is beating my ass.
Whoa, damn, chill.
Have some faith.
You're gonna come with a vengeance. I've beaten you 3 times with Halucha. I think you want revenge.
Uh-oh.
Do you have a team that does stuff?
Yes, I have a team.
No way, really
team.
now?
I mean,
team, oh boy.
Look at that Golf Gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. If you don't like your team or don't like Mons, change it.
Yeah, change it with the 0 trades I have. Thanks.
He already used 4 transactions and then traded the whole team.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
I just remember you trading the entire team.
He's done everything in his power to change the team.
Yeah, but one Mon 6-0's my entire team on both of my matchups. So yeah.
I mean,
you wanna let that slip? Who you think that is?
Ooh.
I mean, I thought the same last time, and then you brought this cancer ass jump off set, and
jump off is the GOAT, okay?
This cancer ass jump off set, you brought it on like a 2-0. Get out of here.
If it's me versus you in playoffs, that jump off will actually work that time.
No, it will not. I'm gonna hit those fire blasts.
Anyway. Alright. Let's move on to Pag.
Hey, look, it's me.
Oh, hi, Pag.
Pag faces Chew, obviously. And
easiest
Killua.
W.
Ooh.
Pag's life.
You right.
Ooh.
Someone finally agrees with me.
So Killua and Chew. So I think this matchup, I think Chew and Pag is going to decide quite a bit as well.
Where Chew goes.
Yes, where Chew goes, basically. I'm
pretty sure Pag is already pretty hyped that even if he loses one game, it's still likely for him to keep in playoffs.
Yeah.
So
I have to win 1, and then if I win just 1, and then a guy beats Zone and Killua beats Primer, then I'm locked. If I win, a guy wins, and Killua wins, I lock.
Wait, I have the perfect plan.
Oh,
I think you just need to beat Chew too.
You really just need to beat Chew and you win.
I'm gonna get
If you beat Chew, you lock your position for playoffs.
Okay, you don't need to tell him cancer ass.
No,
coach.
No, it's fucking. If I get Aster to ghost me, Pag won't be able to do anything.
I'll ghost.
Anyway.
You'll have a heart attack.
He's just okay. That was one time. Okay, that was one time.
I will ghost Spectrum and I will ghost Pag to win.
Spectrum knows my team.
That's the point.
Maybe.
Oh.
Wink, wink. Actually, to be honest with you, I really don't at all.
No,
I
I'm
might have
joking.
been, like,
If somebody's
I might
gonna
have
get
been,
this pack, it's gonna be me.
I low key would have been like I was like half asleep when you were telling me. So anyway.
Alright, well, I'm gonna mute myself now.
Well.
Bye. Bye, Felicia.
But kind of going back to last week, that win versus Primer was absolutely huge.
It really was.
Because it put me above the 3 and 4 teams instead of dropping me among them.
Yeah.
How are you 4 and 3 with a -1 differential?
Because all of my matches have been very, very close, except for I got 5-0'd by Corey.
Oh. Corey in the house. Huh, I didn't know that.
There was nothing on my team that beat Lucario outside of Deoxys, and Deoxys got beat by everything else on his team. So, like, Corey just has the one Mon that puts a dent in my team.
You had a Ferrothorn.
Lucario's a fighting type.
Counter.
What?
All right, you're right. You're right. Anyway.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Killua, which I think it's gonna be. I think
So
Killua. I want to say Killua's locked, but not
Just because of
yet.
differential, I think he is locked.
Nah,
I think that,
there is a way. It'd
I'm
require Pag to
right
lose
here.
Chew and then beat Killua. Chew has to win his last 2 games. Zone has to win his last 2 games, and Primer has to win his last 2 games. If a guy beats Zone,
Primer.
then
if a guy beats Primer.
no. If a guy just beats Zone, then mathematically, based off of matchups, no matter what, Killua's still in it with that 5 and 2.
Killua gets one more win against Primer or Pag.
Same with Pag or Chew. If Pag wins, then Killua's still in playoffs no matter what.
Yes. So I think realistically, the top 3 could potentially lock. They just have to win one more match, and they're good to go for playoffs. 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yep.
Oh.
So.
Or they need Pag or a guy to win this week.
And Killua has a very, honestly, in my opinion, a hard road to get in with Primer and Pag. Primer, I'm pretty sure is going to want it, and Pag, he probably want it. Obviously.
I mean, let's put it this way.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially if I lose to Chew, then I'm gonna fight my absolute heart out to try and get it.
Right, the Cinderella story. No, I'm playing.
Yeah. See, it's rock paper scissors, so.
Yeah, really.
No matter what, I'm never gonna be able to beat Primer or Pag, but I'll always beat Killua.
Oh boy.
So, regardless, I like Killua's chances. Killua has really nice chances.
I think Killua has really good chances too of making it. He's just got to win one match, and he's got Primer and Pag. So it's gonna be interesting.
The Pag matchup, I think, would be nice to see.
That's gonna be fun to watch. So
yeah, because potentially that last match, myself versus Killua, that could be just primarily for seeding.
Yes.
So that would be very interesting.
Yes, potentially if you beat you. Anyway, so let's move on to Tort. Tort versus JT and Chew. I don't know. I think Tort. I don't know, man. If he loses these next 2, realistically, he could be knocked out.
That'd be interesting to see.
That differential though, at +9, he'd have to lose. He'd have to lose them pretty heavily.
I mean, you haven't seen my team yet.
Ooh. So, it just depends on if JT can beat down the next 2.
I mean, the last time I played Tort, I lost like 2-0, but that was for a whole different league.
Like I said, I think realistically, Evergrande is a lot more tighter than Indigo right now. Which is why I like discussing this stuff, because it's so much more closer, because nobody's like me and can be 6-1. Well,
yeah. I mean, Pat kind of hacks me out of my win, but okay.
Ooh. Shade thrown.
Fighting words. Let's go, Pag. Rematch.
No. Even with the crit, I mean, without the crit, even without the crit, there was still a decent chance I knocked you out. I'm just letting that be known. Without the crit, there was still a decent chance I knocked you out.
That's
shame.
Anyway, so I don't know. If anyone, I think the top two. I'm pretty sure it's going to be interesting because
I think the top
crazy
two,
interesting.
including myself, are just placement matches from here on out.
Actually, I think realistically, if we're talking real talk here right now, interestingly enough, if you lose to Tort by maybe like a 3-0, and then Tort beats Chu, realistically, and you lose to Corey, realistically, you could be either A, knocked out. I think you could still. I think
based on differential, it's like almost impossible unless a lot of people get 6-0'd.
Well, hashtag 6-0 everybody.
Pretty much.
Which is like almost impossible.
I mean, you'll never know.
Unless they're purposely doing it so that JT gets knocked out.
So I think, like I said, it's going to be interesting in the end. So this is really, like I said, Evergrande is a lot tighter than Indigo is. Indigo, I believe there are already 2 pretty much eliminations, being Liam's already out of the league. And
4 of the people between 4 and 8 have to get to 5 and 2, at least plus 2 to have a chance of knocking.
Of course,
JT
my biasness here, talking.
And based
TD
off
is out as well.
matchups.
Based off matchups, TD is out as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going off my bias for Indigo. So the big matchups I think to keep an eye out for are going to be for Evergrande. I think Chu with his last 2 matchups. Killua, I think might be an interesting one. Zone and obviously the bottom 3 being Zone, Primer, and A guy. Those 3 are going to be we have to keep a close eye on. It's still anyone's game for Evergrande. I mean, nobody in Evergrande is locked. Realistically, I think it's either you or, like, at this point, this week's matchup being Zone or JT and Tort.
One of them is going to be locked.
One of them is locked. Yeah, so this is going to be the first lock for Evergrande. I'm automatically locked for Indigo. For sure. I'm locked Indigo, no matter what.
Spectrum, I dare you to try and equal out your win-losses and your differential with mine.
I mean, I've already announced that fucking what's-his-face is out. Like, Liam's out, so I'm meant to get a +3. So there's, 17, then whatever CB. So we'll see what happens. What? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, hello there.
Like predictions? All right.
I'm predicting I'm going to be 6th seed.
Oh. Going 3 to 6 real fast.
Thrax mad, I'm going to be 2nd seed. Watch that.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes. I believe so, yes. Killua.
I think even if Good Zone shows up, I still think he loses a very close game.
I think so too. So I give the edge to Killua. And
Pag.
Chu. I'm going to say Chu.
It's definitely going to be close. It's definitely going to be close.
I totally forgot I was on the recording. Whatever.
So. I just like Aloe Pharaoh.
Rogue would fight 3v6, right?
3v6?
Yeah.
So, Rogue versus Killua, then.
I'd say Killua.
That'd be close.
That'd be really close.
TBH.
Then it'd be Pag v Tort, I guess.
Tort.
Pag has the majority vote.
I think Pag, yeah. I'd have to give it to Pag, even though I think Tort's team is busted. Because Pag almost did win, but he choked.
I almost won.
Yeah.
But he choked.
I'm gonna be ready for that
so-
Gorgeist. If I play him again, I'm gonna be ready for the Gorgeist.
So so majority Tort, I guess.
Yeah.
So then it'd
So-
be. Wait, who did we say between Rogue?
They said Killua.
So Killua versus Tort for Evergrande rep.
Killua and Tort. I have to give it to Tort.
I want to say Killua.
I'm gonna give it to Tort because obviously I've been praising his team.
Peg, you're the deciding vote for majority.
I can't help but not go for Killua. I think he's got it. If anybody's got it, it's him or JT.
All right.
Yeah.
So then,
Indigo.
Yeah. So it'd be CB versus Teeny.
Teeny.
CB, I'm sorry, CB.
I'd actually give it to Teeny. Sorry.
Yeah,
I know.
Teeny.
Just-
No, actually, no, look at the teams and then look at the second attacker.
Shh. Don't say that.
Wait, okay, hold on. So Justin versus Nada.
Nada.
Justin.
I'm not gonna agree with you. I'm gonna pick Justin. I think Justin would win that.
I think so.
No,
So-
it's gonna be Nada. I can see the future.
It'd be Spectrum versus Teeny again.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
The loser of the first match always has the advantage the second time around, so I'm gonna go Teeny on that one.
I don't know, man. That's gonna be, that's gonna be such a fucking hard.
I'll say Spectrum because I don't think Spectrum should vote on his own match.
I'm not saying anything on my match, but yeah, I'll let you guys decide.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Teeny on that one.
All right, so Teeny would win, and then we're just going off majority. Then it'd
I know.
Justin versus Matt.
Justin.
Oof,
Matt.
oof.
I'd also probably pick Justin. Yeah.
So then
picked
it's
Matt.
Justin versus
I'm going
Teeny
with
for
Matt.
Indigo rep.
Ooh, Teeny. You can't go against Teeny, my dude.
Teeny.
No.
Teeny's winning 2
Yeah.
titles.
I picked Teeny.
So then Killua versus Teeny.
I
Teeny.
say Teeny.
Teeny.
So Teeny gets
I'm gonna go with Killua.
Well, majority says that Teeny gets his second title. His
Yeah,
second major title.
yeah.
So
I'm gonna have faith in Killua though. So
Fuck out of here, Killua. Or Justin. Oh, never mind, he's back. So, is there anything else we should really go over, guys?
Oh.
no, not
I
really.
can just sense I'm dropping to 6th lead.
So
I think that's pretty much it. Thank everyone for
Yeah.
watching, and we'll see everybody for, I guess, Indigo versus Evergrande.
I just know Spectrum's gonna do this.
oh yeah.
Are we gonna do this next
Wait,
week?
Why?
Spectrum, should we address the whole thing with PRs?
Yeah, TRs are like dead. Rip.
Yeah, because it
Yeah,
got
fine.
complicated after Antoine dropped, and then was it JS versus Teeny that we had to wait on?
Yes.
So it just piled up way too much.
And it's just too much, and we can't.
yeah, so
So.
Oh well.
none for it. We
Yeah.
tried.
Are we gonna do this next week as well?
Yeah.
I say we do it for when. I think we should do it. We should do like I think we should record pick'ems for playoffs. Honestly, that's I
Sure.
think when we're gonna do it. So I think we're not gonna do this next week. And then I think for pick'ems we're gonna record the pick'ems and who we feel is going to do everything. So we'll figure it out from there.
All right.
Alrighty, thank everyone for watching, and we'll be back next time. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.